I don't know if I'll finish this video, but I'm starting a walking meditation, and I thought I'd bring you along. Sometimes it's nice to do a walking meditation at walking meditation speed, which is usually pretty slow. But right now, just kind of trotting along. But even though I'm moving a little bit quicker, still just trying to stay aware of the feeling of one leg lifting, moving through space, and the ankle changes angle a little bit, and the foot touches down. I'm going to check in when it's more quiet. So it's much quieter now. I hope you can hear me well enough. But picking up where we left off, focusing on the feeling of the feet moving for walking meditation, I'm on a sidewalk going uphill just slightly. But I'll do it at walking meditation speed, as I've been taught. So starting off, just feeling the weight of the body pressing into the ground through the feet. And then before the foot even lifts, first the knee has to come forward as the heel lifts and the weight transfers towards the ball of the foot, finally lifting off from the toes. And then in fact, the right leg balances as the left leg extends. Ankle pulls back, assuming this is how you step, and then the heel comes down, weight presses forward. And that's how quickly I was taught to do it. But just walking and being mindful of walking is the basic idea. And in the city, I like to do walking meditation with a lot of visual stimulus. So for instance, even something as seemingly simple as that. I mean, first of all, just in one brick, there's white, this lighter yellowish, this like more dark color. That's kind of on the blue spectrum to me. Here it's darker and then it's light. They all have cracks and texture. This means somebody nailed something in there. This is still nailed in there. You don't have to think about it like that, but just showing you that there are complexities in the details that can be enjoyed, or even just, brain tracking movement in space, like noticing cars or people around. And so the walking meditation is such a nice way to get around, because you still get to where you want to go, maybe a bit slower than you would if you were power walking. But I just get in such a good mood doing this. Every step, I usually forget, so this is just kind of when my attention comes back to the walking meditation. Each step as if it's the first time I'm stepping. I used to have a really bad knee pain in my left knee, and then I had a very mild chainsaw accident, which didn't make it worse, but didn't make it better. And so if I'm mindful and I kind of push down through my foot to organize my kneecap, like to the position, just like a small example. Well, then the point is, so now I can walk comfortably most of the time. Yeah. I'm going to point you forward so that you can see what I see. So now we're walking around a car, and there's a grocery store, some firewood. My mom used to work there, not at that one, but at that place. I don't know what I can say. Oh, there's a G-Wagon. So it's not all bricks and pavement. Sometimes you get to see nice stuff too. I would show you the people in there, but I feel a little bit rude doing so. Yeah, just noticing. Metal, snow, melted snow, plant, different plant. You can interact with things if you like. Oh, that's another one. Texture, touch. Like if you make sound, you hear it, but you'll also feel it in the throat. That's a great way to be present, like in an elevator or something if you're alone. Just a little utterance like or something. Just to feel yourself in your body and to be aware of your presence with some kind of sensory aspect. But walking around the city, you shouldn't be like reaching out and stroking people, but that's a thorny bush actually, so I won't. Maybe just very gently. Just feeling the texture, noticing. And so all these things are external stimuluses, and we just kind of notice them as they pass. But it's a good metaphor for sitting meditation as well. because just like these visual objects approach and pass as we walk by them, so too do the thoughts and the feelings and all the things that distract us from that feeling of being connected with some kind of inner presence, inner stillness. I don't want to give it any one term because it's so multifaceted. It's just that kind of meditative place. Yeah. And I find that this is such like a low intensity meditation. There's no, like you're just walking. Because sometimes sitting meditation, it can be like just aware of how restless the mind can be, which is exactly how it works for everybody. So you just kind of got to work with it. But you don't have to, rub your nose into the, what's that one? Anyway, you don't have to struggle in that way unnecessarily. And so a walking meditation like this can be a very fun alternative. But now, as I'm talking, I'm noticing that you could just take a nice walk. And that's not exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about taking a nice walk, but the walk isn't the focus of the activity. You're conscious that you're working with your relationship, with your awareness. It just so happens to be that you are walking as the activity or the vehicle. If that makes sense. I hope it does. I don't write down notes before I make these videos. I just do it on inspiration. So I hope you like it. I'll find some nice tratak objects, like just staring at something type meditation. Yeah. Here, if you're still watching, you can just follow along. See, just take a few seconds taking in that wonderful design. Notice the complexities. And now push the awareness into it and see if you can notice something you hadn't noticed just a moment before. Now we're passing on. Nothing is permanent. But sometimes things can be quite extended. Ooh, that's a nice one, see? Just that building back there. I like buildings and stuff like that. So, see, even something like that little woodwork, it's nice. Or just a little curiosity. What's back there? I'm not going to go find out right now, but just being aware of all the reactions. Also, another thing is that visual stimulus, it's likely that when you look at something, you'll have like a quick reaction to it. Even if it's just the feeling of recognizing the thing in the visual field. So like, for instance, I saw that out of the corner of my eye, and I knew that there's something to be aware of, just that color of orange. But luckily it's just a knocked over cone, so, and then I relaxed very quickly after that. But something like the design of the buildings gives you a reaction, something like the state of the plants, like seasonal changes, can give you a reaction, something like paint coming off, or a new coat of paint, that nice varnish or something, that less than nice varnish, colors of cars, cigarette butt, green thing, snow, just noticing without reacting. I often react with a laugh, because sometimes I'll get like a nice pleasant feeling of absurdity. And you know what? I actually used to work at that restaurant next to the one with the blue sign. It's called KTT, Kirk and Tuff and Trotter. So there is definitely a visual stimulus that gives a mental reaction. But again, just noticing. And so that is all true and valid, but you could also bring your attention just right down on the concrete, and you could just go into like sitting meditation mode, but because you have to look and walk, it takes a lot of the difficulty of just being with yourself out. And so that can be nice too, just kind of getting in a flow, feeling the weight of the body, pressing down through the legs, feeling the spine, holding up the torso, feeling the hips, organizing it all. And so for instance, right now in this mode, I'm noticing that both of my feet are posturing a little bit to the right side. So my left foot on the inside, there's more weight, my right foot on the outside. And it makes me notice, or it makes me think of, I tore my hamstring in the summer, and I'd been trying to walk with my hip kind of to the side to even things out with the physical therapy. And so just being aware of it. Noticing. I just got a really nice mulch smell, and then lo and behold, it was mulch. Yeah. Just breathing, noticing, taking in the sights and sounds of everything around you. We didn't smile at each other, but it's nice to smile at people when they pass by. Oh, they're too quick. Anyway, I'll see you in a little bit. I'm approaching Porter Square. Ready? So I'll show you Porter Square. We'll see what's going on there. And so this building here made me think of Tibetan Buddhism, because even though that's not really gold, that's kind of like the crimson and gold, like the robes the Dalai Lama wears and other great teachers. Just noticing. Sometimes, ready to watch me relax? My face. Just letting it all drop. Still just noticing. And the more you notice outside, the more the mind is occupied. And so it can be very relaxing for the thoughts. But please practice that quality of being able to focus instead of non-thought. Because thoughts are there to stay for a long time. This is rambly. Another thing to try for the walking meditation is working with your posture. And so if you just lift up your hips, kind of like when you lean back to lift up your belt, just a tiny bit of that, but instead of leaning back, just lift your heart higher, which might feel kind of awkward in the shoulders, but usually that's because we hunch a lot and these muscles are not properly trained. And so you can lay on a rolled up towel, you can use tennis balls, all kinds of stuff to open up the chest. But as you're walking, just lifting up the belt line, lifting up the heart. And then I like to imagine a string, and this is a very common thing, a string out of the top of the head lifting you straight up. And so it's kind of like a funny soldier walk, and it feels a little bit awkward, but it feels good physically. And then you can kind of relax most of it. But just maintaining that upwards lift can be really nice. Yeah. Alright, we are very quickly approaching our destination. In fact, we're here, or at least I'm here. This is the thing over the commuter line. And those red things indicate that we are in Porter Square. Porter Square is a nice place to sit. Lots of people passing by, lots of people going on the train. Sometimes I come and meditate here. Sometimes I just pass through. And so now that I'm here and my walking meditation is coming to an end, I just kind of settle, relax any trying, stop stepping in trash, and yeah, just take everything in. Noticing the quality of light, noticing the temperature. Alright everybody, hope you have a great day, month, year, life. I just want to show you so much cool stuff. Oh, a lot of the times pigeons will cover that entire thing. And there's some sleepy boys up there. Sleepy boys and girls that ever bought a pigeon. Oh, and there's tons more. Look at that white pigeon. Hey Pidge, how you doing? Oh, that guy's sliding down. He can't. He can fly, he'll get up, it's no worries. Yeah. Alright, well, have a good one. I have one last assignment. Which one's it gonna be? There probably won't be a follow-up on this, but nice.